Common Core. Under Pat Normite's leadership, we have used our Title I and Title II resources to get a jump on the Common Core alignment. Our administration reorganizes the importance of the school, recognizes the importance of the school's principals being the instructional leaders of their building. Curriculum Management Systems Incorporated was contracted to provide curriculum training for the principals, district coaches, and key administrators. We've had 2.5 days of deep alignment, 50 ways to close the achievement gap, 2.5 days, 2.5 days taking the mystery out of the test. We've had 2 days of basic walkthrough training, classroom walkthroughs. We have performance-based budgeting, which basically is program-based. And we brought in a presenter to help principals and other administrators to learn how to better utilize their secretaries. Secretaries were trained as well in the Breakthrough Coach, which was a 2-day training. We have also been to Common Core 2-day trainings held by the New Mexico Leadership Institute, which is basically a summary of our other curriculum trainings. This is in addition to meetings and trainings provided by central office staff to principals, teachers, and others. With input from our teaching ranks, we plan to have scope and sequence, quarterly content guides, quarterly pre and post assessments by the beginning of next year in math, English language arts, science, and social studies. We are well on the way. Next year we will focus on curriculum guides, instructional practices, and the lexile levels of the materials being used in the classroom. We are, in fact, ahead of Albuquerque Public Schools in this process, in spite of the fact that they have a major Gates Foundation grant in which to do this work. A split of the district would cripple the efforts of Ms. Knight's curriculum department. We expect our writing efforts to have a great impact on our 2013 New Mexico Standards-Based Assessment results. Budgetary focus on direct instruction. Our proposed budget has almost 63% of our operational budget going into direct instruction. This is up from the previous administration's 51%. Even with declining resources from the federal government, we have been able to keep our focus on the students and their learning. I would like to point out that the instructional focus helps all of our students regardless of ethnicity. Relations with the Navajo Nation. We have a much improved relationship with the Navajo Nation. The Navajo Nation has not interfered with anything we have tried to do. The nation wants the respect to be part of the efforts to improve Navajo children's education. CCSD has given this respect under my administration. In fact, they have been very helpful to us in many ways. Our 25-year leases that the previous administration let lapse have been renewed as 50-year leases. Our very important relationship with the Navajo Nation has never been better. Also, the improved relationship with the Navajo Nation gives the majority of our students an improved self-esteem. Employee relations. Under Phil Casper's leadership, our Director of Human Resources, we have much improved employee relations. We use the interest-based bargaining model. It is time-consuming, but we believe that our rank and file has more input and a greater understanding of what is going on and why decisions are made. A split would make employee contracts an uncertainty. It is already difficult each year to fill all the teaching positions we need. With our isolated schools, we need additional employee housing for recruitment purposes. We have long commutes. Additional housing is difficult to accomplish with the declining resources. The close of the Kirtland Business Office. I know that closing the Kirtland Business Office seems to be what has started all of this. It became an emotional issue. This was a decision made by the board, and the plan was put in place by the previous superintendent. Although I did not partake in the decision, I believe that the decision to unite central offices to one more central location has helped us to become more efficient. We've got a blow-up map here. See the point to where Shiprock is, so you can see that we're more centrally located there than where we have one in Kirtland and one in Shiprock. And it's just being able to communicate back and forth. We're able to have a face-to-face with business, human resources, and food services office in a matter of minutes. It used to take 20 minutes of travel time alone. In summary, level heads need to prevail. A split would not be in CCSD's interest, the best interest of the new district or the state. Our district would be less diverse. The bonding capacity would be cut in half. The remaining CCSD would be hurt even more with the units 1 through 3 of the Four Corners generating station being closed. San Juan Station, also on government land, is a bigger taxpayer. There is even uncertainty as to San Juan stations remaining open. Homeowners only pay about 3% of our district's income. Our students and resources they need before the adults in any decision made. Thank you, Madam Secretary.
A quick question, you referenced the leases. While we have not seen the leases at the PED,
Right.
if the option B was approved, would leases with the non-recognition include option B schools?
The leases, I don't believe any of the leases that we have signed have anything to do with the option B schools. There's Shiprock, Newcomb, and Shady.
The 5 licensing questions, Secretary. Shitty, Newcomb, Shiprock Bus Barn, the admin office areas, and Shiprock High School. Those are the leases.
And we signed the leases Friday with the president of the Navajo Nation. It goes back to the Justice Department for, I guess, for whatever they do, stamp or whatever, and then they give us a copy. And you'll get a copy when we get one. Thank you.
As Superintendent Levinsky has shared, my name is Pandora Mike, and I'm the Director of Curriculum Instruction and Staff Development for Central Consolidated School District. I would like to thank you for this opportunity to share my professional opinion regarding the proposed splitting of the district. The mission of Central Consolidated School District and this new administration is that every public school student will graduate from high school globally competitive for work and post-secondary education and prepared for life in the 21st century. This mission requires a new vision of educators and dictates the need for a new type of leadership. Our district administrative team is working to develop a culture of disciplined thought and action to meet the needs of all our students. We are working hard to develop a common understanding that focuses on the purpose of creating systems for change. It involves being change agents as role models. It's about being critical consumers and analytical thinkers when it comes to curriculum and instruction. It's about creating supportive structures at all levels. It's about working together with a vision in mind about what our children will become once they finish high school. This past school year has been a year of adult learning. We have led the charge in making changes to focus more on learning and teaching. We provided intensive training on deep alignment for curriculum development, as Superintendent Levinsky has shared. Through this, we've been able to develop essential curriculum tools and district assessments aligned to Common Core standards with the help of teachers throughout the district. We've re-established a partnership with the Navajo Nation Department of Education to collaborate ideas and strategies that are sensitive to the needs of all our students. self-identity as part of raising student achievement. In addition, we continue to promote parent community involvement. For example, we've expanded our dual credit opportunities with San Juan College, Navajo Technical College, and most recently, we've established a partnership with the Navajo Nation Office of Youth Development for work-study student opportunities. And of course, our Navajo language and culture is that we will ensure our Navajo Nation to embed that into every instructional practices as we focus on making learning meaningful. We're continuously examining our programs and our practices and structures to make improvements for all of our communities within our district. And staying together, working together, is critical at this stage of transitioning to align with New Mexico Public Ed Department's plan of implementing Common Core. It's my professional opinion that splitting the district will be a major disruption to the educational processes of our students, our staff, and communities. If we divide our district, what message are we sending to our children and our grandchildren? We need to keep in mind the emotional wellness of all our children that has a direct impact on cognition development, their social development. I personally know students, families, and staff who were traumatically impacted with the loss.
Madam Secretary and panel members, I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Olivia Kine, and my title is Director of Academic Support. I am employed with CCSD. I want to just give a little brief background. I started about a year here at this school district, and as had been mentioned several times, our population that we serve, in other words, our students that attend our district, are 90% or more Native American and primarily Navajo. With that in mind, I would like to say that there are key policies, and we have an agreement that I would like to point out that, in my opinion, are avenues and directions that we're working toward accountability. We want to fulfill, we want to strengthen what's in place. The first one is our recent MOA with the Navajo tribe and CCSD. This is a landmark, and the emphasis between this MOA, which involves both entities, is that there is to be technical assistance. Number 2, cultural awareness. 3, promote and support community leadership. Other areas to consider is our Navajo Sovereignty Indian Act and our Indian Education Act. These emphasize partnerships with our tribal people, with our tribal communities. And with that in mind, we are in process of creating a stronger partnership with our Division of Dene Education, with our PED Indian Education Office, and within our community affiliations of the students that attend CCSD. I want to point out some thoughts to ponder.